For years we've been told how important it is to eat breakfast. Some even claim that you can gain weight if you skip it. How did breakfast become so important? And do you really need to ensure you eat of a morning? Worldwide breakfast habits. Around the world, breakfast looks different depending on what country you go to. In Argentina, you can be served croissants and other sweet pastries with dulce de leche, a rich caramel sauce. In some Asian countries, you could be given a savoury porridge called congee, as well as other dishes you might think of as being for later meals. A continental breakfast in the Netherlands might have a boiled egg, cheese, and cured meats, while a continental breakfast in the UK might be a croissant, cereal, and some fruit. For many in westernised countries, breakfast can be anything from a fry-up with toast, waffles, pancakes, to a bowl of cereal or toast with either a sweet or savoury spread. When was cereal first popularised? While oats have been a popular meal in Scotland and the UK, the rise of breakfast-specific cereals can be traced to the early days of Kellogg's. John Kellogg was involved in the Seventh-day Adventist sanitariums, places where they encouraged various treatments to live a wholesome life. This extended to dietary guidelines that included vegetarianism. One of the enduring features of this was the invention of cornflakes. The cereal was first created as a bland food that would stave off the temptations of masturbation. Not a great selling point, you would think. His brother Will Kellogg saw the potential in selling the cereal. This required great marketing. In August of 1917, in the Good Health magazine, which had as its editor John Kellogg, there was an article on breakfast. Yet in many ways the breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it is the meal that gets the day started. Unsurprisingly, the recommendation was to eat easily digested foods, including cornflakes. This quote was later to become the basis of another breakfast campaign. In 1944, General Foods ran an ad campaign for their Grape Nuts cereal. They iterated that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. This campaign was so successful that for years people have been repeating it. Of course, others would jump onto this gravy train, and soon you had the bacon industry also extolling the virtues of eating a hearty breakfast. This was in conjunction with the father of propaganda and modern-day marketing, Edward Bernays. Bernays was the nephew of Freud and knew how to influence people. He convinced 5,000 doctors to sign a letter to say that eating bacon and eggs was a healthy breakfast. This was a paid promotion for beechnut bacon, whose sales increased once the letter was published in newspapers in the 1920s. Make sure you eat some breakfast. Growing up as a kid, my mum would always make sure you ate some breakfast before you leave for school. Trouble was, I was never a breakfast person. I generally didn't feel like eating, but I would have to eat something. So my solution? Cold Weet-Bix with a heap of sugar. Not exactly healthy, but at least I was eating something. Nutritionists took up the marketing hype of breakfast being the most important meal of the day. Not because of any scientific studies, but based on the ingenious marketing that came from Kellogg's, Bernays, and the big food industry. Mums around the world took note. You listen to the experts, and if the experts say it's true, then it must be. Cereals became very popular, especially when marketed towards children. Quick and easy, with attractive, colourful mascots, prizes in the box, and even cartoons. To make it healthier, companies would add vitamins and minerals, but to make it tasty, they would also add sugar. Lots of sugar. When looking at the levels of sugar in common breakfast cereals, you can see that the most popular with kids contain the most sugar. Sugar might raise energy levels, however, when in excess of what the body can consume, it also spikes an insulin response, leading to storage as fat. Sugar is also the favourite food source for cancer. A sugar high or rush is not conducive for children's growth or being able to concentrate while in class. Cereals are carbohydrates which the body will convert to sugars as well. To eat or not to eat breakfast. Studies into breakfast eating seem to depend, as with most studies, on who's funding them. They can be also limited by the test subjects and their health status. A study done in 2014 looked at 33 lean adults in two groups. One ate breakfast and the other delayed or didn't eat a breakfast. They concluded daily breakfast is causally linked to higher physical activity thermogenesis in lean adults, with greater overall dietary energy intake but no change in resting metabolism. However, being so limited, it could not look at long-term health effects or even whether disease or weight were influenced with eating or not eating it. A more recent study looked at intermittent fasting, comparing 545 subjects. In conclusion, intermittent fasting significantly improves glycemic control and insulin resistance, with a reduction in BMI, a decrease in leptin level, and an increase in adiponectin concentration in the general population without chronic metabolic disease. It will not harm you if you skip breakfast, but it will influence some of your energy levels for the day. If you follow a low-carb, high-fat or keto way of eating, the general rule of thumb is to eat if you're hungry and stop when you are full. If you're only just starting out, it's advisable to still eat a breakfast until you get fully fat adapted. Intermittent fasting is a great tool to add, but it should come naturally and not be forced. So what can you eat if you're eating low carbs? A usual go-to is bacon and eggs, without the bread. However, if you're time poor and want something quick and easy in the mornings, there are a few options that are still just as satisfying. Cream or yogurt and berries. Most berries are low carb, but also double check your daily count. If you do go for yogurt, make sure to check the sugar content and ensure that it's not low-fat yogurt. Greek yogurt is usually a good go-to. Also, if you choose cream, make sure you don't overdo it. Too much fat is a thing, especially if you're in fat burning or maintenance stages. Chia or hemp seed puddings. These are a simple dish and can be made the night before, so make a good prep, then a grab and go food. Simply soak some chia or hemp seeds overnight with a low-carb nut milk such as almond or coconut milk. For variety, consider adding spices and some low-carb berries. Low-carb granola. Most commercial granolas contain oats. Unfortunately, oats are high carb. However, you can make your own low-carb ingredients. Serve with a Greek yogurt or with a nut-based low-carb milk. Mini quiches or frittatas. You can make these as part of a food prep. They're egg-based with your favourite low-carb ingredients. These can be eaten cold or you can reheat in the morning. A cold plate or salad. A great breakfast suggestion is to have a plate of your favourite cold meats, cheese, boiled egg, etc., or create a salad. Also consider having some avocado for a bit of added fat. Leftovers. Making extra the night before can give you a great breakfast. You don't need to eat traditional breakfast foods if you don't want to. Green smoothies. Juices and some smoothies are often high carb. However, you can always make your own. You can prep the ingredients ahead of time and simply put in a blender when needed. Drink with the pulp and consider adding some virgin coconut oil for a more satisfying experience. Bulletproof drinks. For those who are starting out on intermittent fasting, you can transition with having bulletproof drinks. Generally, this is a coffee with a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of coconut or MCT oil blended together. It makes a rich, creamy coffee that will help you stay full while going without breakfast. Another variation is to have cream, heavy or whipping, in your coffee. These drinks are considered a break to a fast, but help you as you work your way to intermittent fasting. In conclusion, breakfast being the most important meal of the day was only a marketing ploy, albeit a very successful and enduring one. It is okay if you want to skip breakfast, and it might even help with weight loss and other health conditions. If you are hungry, then eat. Listen to your body. Each day is different, so sometimes you might still need something in the morning, even if you're in the practice of intermittent fasting.